Hey everyone, it's Sarah and I'm here with Blue Ivy. And today we're talking about how to avoid post-quarantine stress in your dog. Now chances are if you're at home under the stay-at-home ordinance and you're not considered an essential employee, your schedule might look a little bit different than it did before this quarantine went into effect. But that also means that your dog's schedule now looks different and they're having to accommodate to a completely different new routine. Now that might not present as anything stressful to your pet right now, being at home with you during quarantine, but there certainly can be some problems after things return to normalcy due to abrupt changes in your dog's routine, which can lead to a lot of stress. Now, I'm a member of the International Association of Animal Behavior Consultants, and as soon as this quarantine went into effect, members of that organization got together to compile resources with one another to help training professionals and behavior professionals through this transition. Now, I was lucky enough to be a part of that team to also provide information as to how to help clients and clients' dogs through this transition as well, including information about how to prepare now during the quarantine, and then also how to transition our pets slowly so that they don't feel those abrupt changes when we return to work full time. Now, as we know, abrupt changes when it comes to dogs leads to a lot of stress. And stress can lead to things like frustration and confusion and even fear. And all of those things can express themselves in behavioral problems with your dog, very frustrating behaviors. So to avoid those things, there are some things that you can do right now during this quarantine period to help set your dog up for success and a less stressful transition when you return to work and return to normalcy. I also have a few tips for you once you go back as well that will help with that transition also. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is routine. Off the bat, you want to keep your same normal everyday routine that you would have prior to the quarantine. Wake up every day at the same time that you normally would if you were going to work. Keep your feeding schedule with your dogs the same. Keep your exercise routine with your dogs the same. So if in the evenings you typically go for a walk with your dog or play fetch or tug, try to keep those activities and those exercises at the same time each evening as well. Use your extra time that you have with your dog now to build on obedience skills and work their brain. Mentally challenge them. Continue using your crate during the time that you would typically be away at work, so we keep the crate a positive thing for your dog. If your dogs are not typically crated while you're at work or away from the house, it's still important that they have some independent free time away from you in short spurts during the daytime still. So now let's talk about once you return to work. If you can, try staggering back, meaning don't go to work full-time 40 hours a week. If you can do a few days at a time, or even better yet, just a few hours per day to transition back slowly, all the better. The other thing you can do is if you have to go back to work full-time right away, is consider hiring a dog walker, someone to give your dog one-on-one attention during the day to help them through that transition period as well. Also, you can give them things like frozen Kongs or safe treats for them like CET chews that's special. Only give that to them during the time that you actually leave the house when you're leaving so that they still have a positive association with you being gone just as much as they have a positive association with you being home. You can also consider getting a tool like a Furbo so that way you can interact with and give your dogs treats while you're not at home. For your dog's mental well-being, try to keep the excitement level down when you're coming back home and when you're leaving the home as well. The other thing to remember is when you return to work, because you've been gone for a while, your stress load and your workload may have increased since you were gone. But it's still important that you try to keep your routine and your schedule, your one-on-one time and your exercise time with your dog when you get home from work at night, as similar to it was prior before. So remember that even if your workload has increased and your stress load increased, you want to come home to your dog and give them at least a little bit of one-on-one time. As you can see, I'm out here with my daily walk with Blue Ivy. And if I typically walk in the afternoons, I want to try to continue my walks with her in the afternoons during my work break as well. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure that you get on some of these things right away to help your dog before this quarantine lift even happens so that you're less likely to see some of these stresses that come out in things like separation anxiety and frustrating behaviors. Thanks again, and if you like this video, please be sure to hit that like button. Also, go ahead and hit the subscribe and the bell notification to receive more just like it.